I think we're very early on. I guess in a sports metaphor, we're in the first inning, maybe top of the first inning. I think that for the first time, there's high quality, high def transmission that's available ubiquitously on all platforms. But I think that we're really just at the beginning of the creative process of what people are going to do with it. And I think most importantly, discovering that it's not a linear platform. Cable was a linear platform. There was another way of delivering television. Mm-hmm. Internet video initially has been used as more or less a linear platform delivering linear video with a little bit of experimentation and interactivity. I think that the real innovation is going to come through the use of the power of the technology.
Chris, what do you think?
I agree. We're definitely at the very early stages. I think a lot of what's different about online video, obviously, it's a lot of it's direct to consumer. I think a lot of what you're going to see changing, and certainly what companies like Maker embrace, is artists, meaning musicians, comedians, filmmakers, et cetera, now moving straight to audiences without necessarily a lot of Hollywood gatekeepers in between. I think there's a lot of business models that have to play out over the next 7 to 10 years. I don't see online video replacing television anytime soon. I think the MVNO model of subscription-based payments to networks will keep that going for quite some time while you see online video grow. But I think within 7 to 10 years, you're going to see an unbundling of a lot of video content across television in particular, and that will lead to yet another sort of boom in online video that will really become kind of the worldwide global boom in online video that'll happen soon.
Nick, what do you think?
I completely agree with my friends up here. I think there's no question we're early from a creative process. We're early from a business model in terms of the dollars actually migrating from an advertising point of view to support the economics of digital video, and all of the other sort of user experience models that also help the business models like social, like commerce, and how those things intersect with video. Really early days of that, but I think really interesting ways for lots of different video creators to actually make a living doing this as well.
And the good news is that everything's moving in the right direction. I think as you see traditionally in media, wherever eyeballs go, advertising dollars eventually follow, and then other types of revenue streams we're already seeing traction in generating merchandise transactions, selling music, all sorts of things off of very popular YouTube channels with very strong artists with huge followings in the millions. So.
I mean, in terms of the business model, in terms of monetizing these audiences, is it still ad-based? Is that still the major form of revenue that we're seeing in this space?
I mean, I think that's certainly where we are today. That's the most straightforward model, and it's the one that draws upon some of the more established traditional models. But again, I think commerce and video together is a very powerful model. It's something that we're working on right now. One of our digital brands at NBC Universal is Fandango, mm-hmm. and we just announced today an original video slate of new video programming. And part of the idea there, in addition to entertaining, informing our audience about movies and movie media, is to continue to drive commerce by helping with the movie discovery process and getting more people into theaters and the overall movie experience. And we think they're very complementary and very reinforcing and will make complete sense to consumers from a viewing experience point of view.
And just so our audience knows, you announced free programs. Dave Karger, who you guys lured away from Entertainment Weekly, he'll be...
Yeah, so we just brought on board Dave Karger, a 17-year veteran from Entertainment Weekly. He's also the official greeter of the Oscars from the Academy point of view, and he's a terrific on camera and real film expert, awards expert. He'll be hosting these first 3 shows, but also lots of other video. Part of the idea, of course, is to drive commerce and movie discovery, but also for us to be able to take advantage of the broad company that we sit within with these digital brands inside a more traditional media company, NBC Universal, being able to leverage Dave as a personality and make him available to all of our different outlets, from the Today Show to E! To Bravo, et cetera, and build a bigger brand for Fandango and find many more ways to connect with our audience.
I think you're also, though, seeing some interesting models evolve. As Chris mentioned, a lot of what's going on are creators and talent connecting directly with audience and using the power of their social following and social platforms to effectively eliminate the gatekeepers and have that direct relationship. Probably the best known example of a pay model that's being experimented with is what Louis C.K. has done. You know, Louis has done a brilliant job of basically building a social following, leveraging that social following, and creating this direct relationship where he's basically said, I'm doing this myself, and I'm going to give you a lot of value for the money, but this has value, and it's been followed by others. And I think that you're going to, the more frictionless the payment system becomes, I think the more prevalent you will see hybrid advertising and pay models and even subscription models evolve.
But Louis C.K., I mean, to be fair, came from a traditional background, and he had an audience because he was on, you know, first an HBO program, now he's on an FX program. I mean, is that possible if you don't have that traditional sort of backbone resume, CV, what have you?
I'd like to take this one just because our talent, we work with over 1,000 different artists, you know, who have followings that, you know, rival that of Louis C.K. You know, largely the audience is made up of youth culture, right? And I think it's lost on most people whose personal experiences as adults over 24 is with YouTube in a much different way than with your children who are, you know, let's say, you know, anywhere from 8 to 24 with a sweet spot somewhere in the 15 to 17, who really are, these artists on YouTube who also have large Facebook and Twitter followings, are the Louis C.K.'s for that generation. And what we've found is that they absolutely have their wallets out, or their parents' wallets out, depending on how you look at it.
Whose credit cards?
So we can take an example like one of our largest shows is a show called Epic Rap Battles from History. It's an extraordinarily large internet show with about 20 million views per episode with $0 in marketing, another beautiful part of the internet. That show, even though if you go to Google and type in, you know, rip song from YouTube video, it's the #1 link. We'll give you some little way to like steal music straight from YouTube videos. We've sold over 1 million downloads of music just in the past year, straight from iTunes, from 99 cents to $1.29, just from that one show. So we're seeing the ability of these non-traditional artists, or artists who are endemic to YouTube as a platform, being able to move really big volumes of transactions across things ranging from content like music to merchandise like t-shirts. And I really believe it's the tip of the iceberg, that we're really, I like to say, you know, it's kind of a gold mine, and there just aren't any gold miners yet. And as we add sort of gold miners to this, and the ability to continue to add authentic merchandising content that's paid for, and have these artists promote it, that it's only going to grow the pie bigger and bigger.
What about you, Nick? I mean, when you are looking for partners, are you still going to folks who have more of a traditional entertainment background, or are you actually looking for YouTube
By
stars?
Partners, you mean talent?
Talent, yeah.
We look everywhere. I mean, I think talent comes from many different directions, and the interesting thing that we're finding, sort of the opposite of your original question here, is that, you know, there's a great opportunity to take digital talent and bring them into the traditional platforms that we and others offer. And, you know, we're doing that in a couple places right now. For example, we launched something a couple weeks ago at Fashion Week, which was a collaboration between one of our native digital brands, Daily Candy, with one of our traditional TV networks, Style Network, and created something called Style Candy. And basically that was something that came from digital, sort of very scrappy, you know, digital video production values, but we turned it into an on-air property, and that was something then we monetized, actually sold packages. Our first charter sponsor was Old Navy, and they bought across all the platforms. So it goes in both directions. We're doing something similar with iVillage, another one of our native digital brands. We just launched a guest editor series. It started off with a pretty nice guest editor, Michelle Obama. Yeah. It was a good place to start.
Heard of her.
We started at the top. And we're now turning that series, which has upcoming editors like Dr. Oz, Alicia Keys, Jessica Simpson. We just did Jessica Simpson, turning that into video programming for our on-air TV networks as well. So it goes in both directions. What we believe is that While we love pure digital video, that actually digital video and traditional TV video are great complements to each other, both in terms of cross-promotion, video discovery, and monetization, as we can bring marketers along for the ride with us across all these platforms, because that's how we know that's how consumers are consuming.